Right, g'day everyone, welcome back to Nat's Knacker's Yard. I'll be a slightly croaky Nat. This is the Annex A to the Knacker's Yard. I watched my last footage, the audio is very echoey in here. It's an empty brick garage. I can do nothing about it. I will speak up a little bit more though, because I think I haven't actually published yesterday's upload yet. That goes on tonight. But I'm sure it's going to get some comments, so I'll speak up, I'll enunciate, but I can't stop the echo because I've nipped to mate's empty garage for a week, brackets or two. What's going on? I think I'm going to get the tyre done midweek. I've just checked my work diary and all that. I think I can slide out a little bit on Wednesday and get it done. I have dropped the oil. That's not today's beer, I left it here from yesterday. It's too early on a Sunday morning for that. I've dropped the oil. It's fine, it's just a bit burnt, there's no lumps in it. The bit that I'm grateful for is that it is quite thick. And I know Charlie's quite big on this, but when you get, and this is a plea to any Chinese motorcycle owners, if you've bought it new, change the oil, because they use really rubbish, thin, crap quality oil. You do nothing else with a Chinese bike when you first get it. Flush the oil. Should change the filter as well, but I haven't. I really can't be bothered. But actually, it's less about the filter. It's more about that oil. It's really thin. It's really rubbishy. It's like, you know, go onto the motorcycle rescue. Charlie does a lot more Chinese bikes because there's a lot more of them kicking around near him. Yeah, the oil is horrendous. So, good thing that that's thick oil, even though it's a bit burnt. Been used. Good thing. But I have flushed it and chucked in a litre of 1040. Just it is. I did look it up. It is what it needs. And I've normally got a load of it kicking around. Although saying that, I've just runned it out. So I've just used the last of that. So I will pour that oil into that can, and it will go on the stack ready for the next recycling run. Always be responsible. Other bits, I've ordered the bulb. That should be midweek. I've ordered the lever for the brake. I've taken it off, and to make sure that I was sat in the warm in my dressing gown, because I'm old, making sure I ordered the right one. I looked at the whole sets, and they're actually quite expensive. And I thought, I can do that, and I might still do that, but let's see what I can do. So I've whipped the clutch off. It does have a clutch switch, although it seems to start without the clutch depressed. I might have to follow the wiring to see if it's been disabled at some point. I quite like it with one wind mirror. Don't know, am I the only one? It just looks a bit different. And particularly in London, wind mirrors are a pain in the arse. They're destined to clash with every van or 4x4, or frankly any big SUV, which they pretty much all are nowadays. Their wind mirrors are at that height. So I'm just going to leave it, I think. I'm going to see if I can tidy it up, because it's very obvious that there's a section of this that's broken off that used to hold a wing mirror. So what I'm going to do is, I've just whipped it all off. I'm keeping all my parts down there. I'm going to break out Craig, my sander, my little belt sander. Just tidy that up and see what I can end up with, and see whether or not I can see if I can just make something to make that look a little bit better. Probably just frankly out of JB World. It doesn't merit any more than that, but I just want to see if I can make it look okay, passable, and then bang it back on. Probably not today, because it's going to have to dry and stuff. It's not the best painting weather in the world. I've got a big empty garage. I might just be able to do it by the door. Yeah, I also want to have a look at the engine housing. I mean, it looks a little bit meh. It's Chinese paint, it don't last. And that's not me being racialist, that is me just pointing out that Chinese manufacturers skimp when it comes to paint. They super skimp when it comes to paint, because if you look on the tank, the pinstripe paint there isn't pinstripe paint, it's a sticker. So yeah, there's a reason they're cheap. And that's because they skimp on things that they don't consider important. And frankly, if it's longevity of the bike, it's not important for them. They just want to produce something to go. I looked at my video yesterday. This, the one that you've not seen yet. No, you will have seen it. God, this is bloody complicated. That I haven't released yet. These stickers really irritate me. So I'm going to see if I can find a way of getting rid of them. Yeah, just stickers on bikes are fine. Feel free to sticker your bike, but realise that it is a very, very personal choice. And you might actually be devaluing it in the future. Right, I'm going to go and break out my DA and see if I can make that look a little bit better. Okay, so JB World drying. JB World Weld drying. I've no idea if it's going to work, but I've got to give it a go for the sake of it. I've broken out my heat gun and whipped off those stickers and a quick bit of brake cleaner over the top, which the paint survived. I was worried that Chinese paint might not survive that, but yeah, I mean, that's so much better. My homework for the week, I've whipped off the cover for the cogs, for the front cog. I just want to see, well, for one, it needs clean out, and actually the cog is in pretty good nick, I have to say, if it'll focus. There we go. So it doesn't need any changing or anything, but I just want to see if there's a good way of touching up the paint and getting rid of the caggage, because I'm going to have to do something similar for the rest. I'm having a good look at the tank. The tank's in good nick. It does have some, there's no dents in it at all, but it's a cheap Chinese tank, so therefore, I think I've said about it before, the lining is tape, it's not paint. I have had a quick look at, predominantly because I've got the heat gun out at the moment, I'm running out of space. I'm not running out of space, I've got tons of it. I did have a quick look at sticker sets. Oh, that's not showing at all. Why are you not showing? I can't find, the tank stickers. So, because I was thinking of just heat blasting off and then just really fucking going to town with a load of product. Because my slight concern is if I go at it too heavy with compound, with rubbing compound, whoa, focus, whether or not I start hitting into the tape. I think I'm going to risk it for a biscuit and just break out my dual action polisher and just go for it for a few minutes just to see how it works out. Also at the top end, I want to do something to get rid of the little rusty bits. I mean, it's Chinese chrome, it's going to rust. It has indeed at the very top of the forks, not on the travel area, it's fine, but it just doesn't look good, and this is all about beautification. So I might just whip the seat off, leave the tank on for now, if nothing else, and just see how I get on with just trying to make it look a little bit more presentable. I mean, cameras are not very good when it comes to paint. It does make things look better than they are. So this, you look at that and go, certainly from a distance, go, that looks amazing. That, don't touch it. But I'll look around the other side as well. There are marks. Nothing bad, but I just want to see if I can give it a quick go. So whilst my attempt at JB fix on the extremities of that brake is drying, I might just give that a go. Right, let's give it a go. So this is Mother's rubbing compound. Here's my dual action. Get it on a relatively low setting. Better. Not better. There's still some scratches. Let's just let's try a bit of Alright, I've got some random teacup black, which obviously I'm not going to use on the silver, but let's just aim at some of the worst. Obviously different pad. Alright, teacup on, it says to buff it off before it dries. I've got a loose bracket. I wonder if the bolts is too short. I'll have to work. Right. Yeah. Better, but the scratches are too deep for polishing to get out, I think, unless I rub it down with wet and dry, at which point I am going to lose the stickers. Yeah. Alright, let's do a little bit more. Alright, a little bit of Maguire's. I love this stuff. Ultimate compound, it's really good. Right, so a couple of those. I'm just going to go for one top of my good old-fashioned turtle wax, which is pretty much finished. I don't think I'm going to use my electric for it because it's really liquidy, and I'm just going to spray it up against myself. And I've got my nice new t-shirt on. Splashed it wet on my fucking legs. Right, I'll fast forward you again. There's no need for you to watch all of this. Right. So it's only, I'm just checking my clock, 20 minutes worth of effort. And it was essentially to see whether or not I can cope with current paint. The simple answer is, yeah, I can. It's still got scratches, it's always going to have them, unless I take it back to flat and repaint, which I don't really think it merits is the wrong word. I don't really want to do it on this bike. I don't think it needs it. Needs it, that's a better way of putting it. It doesn't need it. So, why are you polishing when you haven't actually washed it now? just wanted to see how it coped, how it took it, and actually give it a bit of a base, because it's been outside for a while and struggling slightly. Right, now off camera, I need to sort that out, because that, if you can see, isn't attached to anything. Yeah, that bolt isn't attached to anything. That's whatever's gone on there. I will sort it out. I need to get that fixed properly so the tank doesn't move. I'll do that off camera. Right, so that's the tank nice and secured now. It's just got a bit bolts and just needed a little bit of TLC. So that's not going anywhere. Let's show you this already. Look at that, you'd never know. You'd never know. So I'm not a fan of JB Weld, JB Weld, I can't even freaking say it, let alone be a fan of it. But for something, you know, non-structural, that's fine. I'll leave that to dry. What am I going to do? I want to have a look at this bolt, the headstock bolt. It's just a bit rusty and shitty, so I'm just going to whip it off, chuck it under the, chuck it on the polishing wheel, clean it off, chuck it back on. Right, and there we go. That's it's a lot better. I haven't had at it with a Scotch-Brite. That's just a polishing wheel. It's going to rust again, fundamentally, and I don't want to take what little Chinese chrome there is off, but yeah, it's just chucked on the polish wheel. Looks a bit better. Right, I've also chucked a bit of black on the top bar as well. That is actually engine, wrong. That is high temp, so I toasted it off with my blower while I've got it here as well. Just thought while it was off I can give it a quick coat. Right, let's see if I can get that handlebar on, the clutch lever on. Right, and there we go. It's on. It looks better than it did. It doesn't have a large chunk of metal hanging out of it. Come on, focus. There we go. I could probably do with the lever so it's not quite so stark, but I'm going to wait until the replacement lever turns up, so I'll make sure I've got the right shape more than anything else, because that's going to be a proper pain in the hoop if it's different. Yeah, a little bit of tinkering today more than anything else. So what have we achieved? I've taken the side off. I'll play with that during the week. Any suggestions on how to deal with this? It is like early stage rust, tarnish. I don't know if it's rust actually. I don't know if that's steel. I'm assuming. No, it's probably aluminium. Don't know. Yeah, any suggestions on the best way to deal with it? It's one of those, I don't need to do it, but it just looks bad. And actually, you know, I want to give this bike, it looks worse on this side, I want to give this bike as much protection as I can, just so, you know, the ultimate buyer just gets something that looks a little bit smarter. You know, it's kind of trying to polish a bit of value into a bike that probably isn't that valuable. Valuable's the word you're looking for there, no? You idiot. Yeah, I think it's quite a cool little thing. I'm desperate to get the wheel done. I'll get that done during the week. So I've done that. It's mostly on this side, isn't it? We've got a cleared off side, which just looks so much cleaner and better, let's face it. Tank's actually polished up reasonably well. There are scratches in it that are, you know, beyond polish, but, you know, that's fine. It's convinced me that, I did think last night, oh, shall I paint the tank? No, it's just not worth it. This tank is fine. You know, any tank that I paint will look worse than that in 6 months, let alone in the 3 years it is since Charlie had it, albeit the bike hasn't done very much. That's no dig at my own paint. That's just, you know, if you're a home painter, you're not going to get the depth that you get if you do it on a new bike or professionally. Yeah, you could argue about Chinese paint, but that's aside. Top's looking a bit smarter. That black on there really helps actually. Handle looks a lot better. The lever for the clutch looks a lot better. I may well stop being a tight twat and just buy a new one with the mirror stem on it, but frankly, I quite like it like that. And maybe alone. Right, that'll do me. It's I don't want to burn too much on my Sunday, but yeah, we're getting there. Next upload, we're on a test ride. I'll take it up and down the hill just to make sure nothing's rattling or falling off ahead of an MOT, and then get it booked in for an MOT. And I may do some tinkering beforehand, but you know, bits for the MOT. I need to sort the light out, bulbs on order. I need to sort the grip out, grips on order about midweek-ish. Obviously I need to sort out the tyre or the inner tube. That's get done during the week. So, you know, all being well and assuming I can book it, maybe MOT on the weekend. Cool, right, that'll do me. Thanks very much all. I'll catch you later on. Ta-da.